Welcome to Not a Great Whisperer podcast. This is your host, Katy Ray. I am joined with the owner of MYET Protection, founder as well, Mimi. But Mimi, I would like you to state your full name.
Yeah, so my first name is Myrlande and my last name's Etienne.
Which is beautiful.
Myrlande Etienne, thank you.
And that's how you got your company name.
Yeah, so I took the first two letters of my first name, first two letters of my last name, and made it MYET. Wanted it very personal to me.
Yeah, and you know what's so funny is it's a super easy MYET when you say it. Like it's not like you're not like, how do you pronounce it or how do you do that? Like you were like, this is what I'm doing. Did you just look at your name and you're like, this is how I'm doing it?
Actually, my boyfriend helped me out with that too. I was like, I want it very personal to me. Like I'm trying to think of all these different names. I'm like, why not add my own name to it? It's very unique. And he's like, yeah, we should combine your first and last name. I was like, if you hear my whole name, it's a mouthful. Yeah. So I was like, okay, how can we make this shorter?
Yeah, two letters.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly. I have sometimes some people say my ET. I'm like, oh,
because it's all uppercase.
Yes. It depends, I guess.
My ET. You're like, it's not the movie. Thank you. So what is MYET Protection?
So MYET Protection offers all types of self-defense products. So I offer products such as self-defense keychains. I have cool tasers, not your boring, typical ones. I have them disguised as lipstick, perfume, all types of cool things. Also offer things like disguised knives. I have a range of self-defense products.
And what kind of what got you into doing, because I have personally a couple of your products and I feel so different when I'm running with one because I run super early in the morning, so it's still dark out and it'll sometimes get lighter, but just having it on me is just a game changer for me.
Well, good. And as it should make you feel better having something with you. It makes you feel more empowered that you can defend yourself. Well, it's been a long story on how MYET Protection was originally founded.
We're here. We are at a podcast today, Mimi, so let's do it.
So sadly, MYET Protection, I went through an experience being followed by a guy, and that's when I was really thinking about the importance of having protection. That really opened up my eyes because, of course, we don't want to think about anything bad happening to ourselves, and we never think about being put in a situation, until it happens. And that's what happened to me. Beforehand, I never really carried anything with me. I never even thought about carrying anything with me. I'm like, oh, nothing has happened. I'm good. Until one day I was by myself, wasn't with my boyfriend, about to get my taxes done. And weirdly, I was in my car about to come out and this guy pulls up right behind my car. I was in there literally for not even 30 seconds, just getting all my paperwork together. Yeah. And this guy just drove up right behind my car as soon as I got out, just, I would say catcalling in a way, hey, mom, let me try to talk to you. I'm hey, I have a boyfriend, leave me alone. You would think most guys would just walk away or drive away, in general, just leave. Yeah. No, this guy actually pulled up right in front of me. I was just walking into the building, trying to get my attention. It was oh, you're trying to play hard to get type thing. I didn't listen to everything he was saying because I'm freaking out in the moment. Of course. Why is this guy still here? And so I run into the building. I'm looking outside, and what scared me the most was that he parked right behind my car. So you just never know people's intentions. In that moment, I was just what the heck? Wow. Who is this person? I don't even know you. It was scary. And thanks to the people in the building, the guy went outside to get his information, his vehicle. And it was the guy that worked at the tax department. Yeah. And he was you don't know him? I'm I don't. And we were trying to get all the information. Eventually he drove off. But it was really scary for me at that moment because I'm by myself. I'm you don't know people's intentions. Never. And not everyone, luckily, is able to get out of situations. And you would think, with me saying I have a boyfriend, you'll leave. So it was just really scary for me at that moment. And I was just dang, I really should have something. Because something happened the moment I got in my car. I'm in a parking lot. Yeah. What am I going to do to defend myself? Yeah. And
how am I going to put up the best fight? Because I'm not going, exactly. What else can I have? Yeah.
So that was just the idea, but it's crazy, how everything happened of how I'm here today. Is because, I actually started, I wanted to be an entrepreneur one day. I wanted to be. Yeah. I was working a 9-to-5 job. I actually was used to working in the corporate world for the last 8 years. And that's the only thing I really know. But I know I wanted to be something more. And in 2020, sadly, my job let me go in December. They laid off a lot of branch staff. So I used to be a personal banker prior to opening up my own business, and that's all I was used to. I was literally like their top performer. Like they've flown me out to another state. They recognize me for all the hard work I've done and everything. So when I was let go, I was like, man, what the heck am I gonna do from here? Thankfully, they paid my salary for like 6 months because I was with them for 8 years. It wasn't like I was let go
and you
for
put
doing
in the
something wrong.
and you put in the work.
Exactly, but I just feel like everything happened for a reason because I actually started my LLC 2 months prior to my job letting me go, wanting to just start like an online, like selling things on Amazon and stuff like that. So it's crazy because I formed my business just trying to sell online, like the LLC, 2 months prior to me not even knowing my job was going to let me go. So I'm like not super religious at all, but I believe in God in a way. So I feel like he put me here. Like in a way, I went through the stuff that I went through as like an eye opener in a way to help other people, you know, like I'm here for a reason. What I'm doing. So it's crazy how it all happened, but I'm really getting used to it. And it makes me feel good to be able to help other people, especially women. As you see on the news, you see women go through stuff like sexual assault, being followed, you know, not everyone is this lucky. So I'm like, we are missing this in our, you know, we're missing this. We need something like this. So I'm like, let me stop being nervous and actually go through with my business. Like I'm not working. Let's make it a full-time thing, you know?
And so that's very inspiring. It's still, you know, it's scary because everything that you went through, it happens to many women. Like I guarantee the stats are what, 1 in every 2 people. I've been followed before. I've been like, people have been in that instance. And you're right. Like, how can you equip women to, I mean, of course we need to educate men and women not to catcall and do things like that. Absolutely. But how can we equip women to get that like empowering moment where you're going to give him hell or give that person hell? Exactly. And I love, so were you originally just did you start looking for yourself? Or did you come up with, you know, this is what I want to do and then start like sourcing out items and things like that?
So yeah, like I actually was planning on just selling not self-defense products at all. I wasn't even thinking about that. Just selling on Amazon, like little things. Like I hired a mentor. I knew deep down inside I wanted to be my own boss, but at the same time, it's kind of hard when you're sucked into the corporate world and that's like everything you do. So I was like, you know what? The only thing stopping me is actually just forming the business and trying to do something. So I formed a business and I'm like, okay, let's see what happens from there. And so I hired a mentor, someone to help me look for the right products, you know, to sell on Amazon and stuff like that. So
how'd you find your mentor? Was it someone who did like e-commerce stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Someone that was very successful in what they were doing already. And
with e-commerce, like specifically how you wanted to. That was
exactly.
Good.
So I was like, I want to do that. And so I signed up for the course. I didn't really put much into the business besides just doing research at the beginning. And then after my job letting me go, I was like, okay, well, I have a business. What should I do? You know, like I started getting some products from different suppliers, like just everyday household stuff. And then I was like, it's not calling my name. Like, I don't feel like this is like what I want to do. Yeah. And so weirdly, that situation that happened 2 months later, me getting my tax appointment done. And I'm like, experiencing that was like an eye opener. Like, maybe I should look into selling something to do with protecting yourself because I'm the oldest of 6. So I'm thinking of my 3 other sisters that can go through something and what would they do in that moment? You know, God forbid the guy were to get out of his vehicle and try to do something more. What would I do in that situation? So it's like, it's crazy how everything like fell in place for me, but I felt like it was a calling. And ever since I've been doing it for this, actually last week has been a year.
Oh, wow.
I've been
Congrats.
in business. Thank you. I feel like I made it this far. Like this is definitely my calling. Like when it comes to doing safety tips, I love doing it on my social media, like spreading awareness, showing people like the different products that are cool. Like as you see, my products are not like your typical boring like products.
I love it.
I have some cool products in disguise that I feel like are good to carry.
So I have one of the like, well, they're not brass knuckle things with it looks like a cat. Yeah, the kitty knuckles. That's what I know. My daughter took it out and I had to tell her what it was for and stuff. And Jane was like, I want one too. I'm like, of course, my son. I was like, whoever wants one can have one. But I think it's great. I like that you keep it like discreet, because you know how some people are always just like, it's too big for, or that's too much. And you have like so many different options. But my favorite thing is your safety tips.
Thank you.
Because you can tell like you're coming from a place of, I'm not trying to sell you this product. I'm trying to tell you why it's worth it, or why it might be fit for you.
Absolutely.
And that's really important. And I think you're a super young entrepreneur, right? And how awesome is that for your siblings to
see that?
Yeah.
I kind of wish, like, I was thinking back when I was working, I was like, I kind of wish I knew about how to be an entrepreneur years ago, because like, I feel like it's a whole nother world. I'm not saying everything came easy. Like, I've learned everything myself. I didn't have someone to be like, hey, this is what you have to do to start a website. This is what you have to do to be a successful business owner. I've, of course, had my challenges, and I still learn things to this day about being a business owner. So
of course.
It's rewarding, but it takes a lot of hard work.
Oh, yeah. And you're not saying it's easy at all.
It's not.
But that's important, right? If you go in with the mindset, you're going to learn something every day. So what about your hard days? Like, how do you get out of the hard days?
So I do have my times, especially with like social media. I feel like I have to keep up. It's hard. Thanks to my partner. He reminds me, just keep going, don't give up. And also, like, doing markets, for an example. I've built like a little group of like small business owners that we just motivate and learn and grow off of each other, even though we don't have like the same niche exactly. It's like we're all business owners, and we can all like agree and relate when it comes to it. So if it wasn't for like my boyfriend, or if it wasn't for them, oh my gosh.
I love that you said that too, because, my big thing is like, you don't have to compete with everyone behind you, just communicating with them, kind of letting them know your rough days, good days, what's going good. That's really important to have that. So with the I met you at a event. Yes. A couple events we've been at now together. But I love markets too. I think markets, you just get a totally different group of people. Have you noticed that those are probably your best because you're getting in front of people and talking to them rather than?
Yes. I would have to say Tampa, St. Pete, if it wasn't for like my city, I would not be where I am today. Like, I've grown so much. I feel like I'm like giving myself more exposure doing markets. I'm talking to people. People tell me their stories. They're opening up to me about things that they have went through and why they see the importance. It's like, at the same time, when I do these markets, I don't even think about it as working, because it's like, in a way, like, it's amazing to be able to like socialize with people in the community, teach them about how to use the different products, and listen to what they went through and how you can learn and grow from it. Like, it's amazing. I like it a lot.
And you're right. Just doing what you're doing and people knowing, you might have gone through something to be pushing this business. It probably opens up a lot of stories and a lot of people being able to be vulnerable with you, and just like finding that little bit of empowerment with the products that you're giving them. That has to feel really good.
It does. And especially like with women, I come across them, they're like, it's really nice to see like another woman that sees the importance of it and what we go through, because some people don't understand.
Well, some people also just want to be like, just don't think about it or don't like it. No, it happens too much. And this is what we're going to do to, not everybody can have guns or things like that. It's like, this is what we're going to do.
And I'm all for any sort of protection. And it's crazy because I even have people that own guns that still purchase from me because they don't bring it with them everywhere.
Well, yeah. So I physically am not allowed to own a gun anymore because I was charged when I was 21 years old with growing marijuana. So they don't allow me to have one. So I'm officially a felon. So without being able to have that tight, exactly. Like, how else am I supposed to feel somewhat protected? Because the only reason I had a gun in the first place was to be protected in my home. So for me, that's a huge thing to be able to own something else that I'm allowed to own, first of all. So I'm not like walking around illegally. But that is it. And it falls into a lot of people's laps where they can't either own one or what people think is protective or what they should have. And it's like, what other ways can I do this? And you have so many different options.
Oh yeah.
I didn't purchase the lipstick one because my kids always go through my makeup, and I was like, could you imagine them being like, here's lipstick, and they're just like, okay.
I know when I make my videos, like the one video I posted on TikTok, for an example, that actually I would say kind of viral. was my disguise products because I was like, it looks like lipstick.
Yeah.
It's actually a knife. It looks like a phone. It's actually a taser. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah. You're like, I'm kind of a big deal, like a viral.
Yes,
No, but I think you're totally right. Like with your community, you are successful. You are doing it because you are helping those people around you without the social media viral or follow, like things like that. Because you are literally impacting people's lives every day. And that has to feel really good.
It does make me feel good. And that's why I love doing what I do. I mean, I'm still growing as a business.
Always, yep.
And I still have a lot more opportunities to continue growing. But to see how far I've been now, I helped over 1,000 people. Like even
that's awesome.
I ship. So I've been shipping. I made it all the way to California now. So it feels really good that people are noticing there's more things out there that they can use to protect themselves. And, we get so used to using our keys as a way of defending ourselves, and that's not proper.
A lot of people have keyless entry cars though. Like the keyless start.
The fobs.
Yeah. So it's like, where's my key?
Yeah, exactly.
Can we get a key?
Let me go to my protection and get something.
What is the message you want to tell women or men anywhere who are looking at your products?
Absolutely. So if anyone's looking at my products, of course, I do offer a range of products. For instance, when I have people come to my table, I always say this: when you're looking at my products, what product do you actually see yourself using? Because knife may seem cool. Like, looks cool because it's a comb and it's a pen. But what do you really feel comfortable using in a situation? And I know we don't want to think about putting ourselves in a bad situation, but mentally we kind of have to think about like, okay, I may not actually use a knife, and pepper spray may be best because I don't want to get close to the person. So that's one thing I always recommend is, when looking at my products, if you are interested or anything out there, make sure you actually think about like, if I was in a situation, am I going to freak out before using it? And I know mentally you have to prepare yourself. And then also like some other tips I would like to add is one, go with to trust your gut. If you feel like someone's following you, maybe you don't have to seem overly paranoid, but at the same time, trust your gut. Always watch your surroundings. Being aware of your surroundings at all times can really make a big difference. Like, for instance, there was a girl that just made a video and I seen it on TikTok. She recorded a guy following her. She noticed that he was following her from blocks away, made it to the train station, still following her. Always be aware of your surroundings. If you're not aware of your surroundings, you won't know that person's, following you or looking at you. And one is always be prepared. Carry something with you at all times. You don't ever want to not be prepared. I always say it's better to have it and not use it. Yeah, and better than not having it and needing it in a situation.
What's your go-to product? What do you have on you all the time?
So right now I have my stun gun and a knife on.
Yeah, she does. Please do not use that today on me. Thank you.
Exactly. I feel like, I'm used to using pretty much all my products.
Yeah, of course.
I feel like with the stun gun's pretty nice because you just give them that warning, scare at the beginning with the zap. But I'm carrying right now a knife and my stun gun.
Well, you're doing it. You're very empowering human. I love that you found purpose in something that was not fun to experience. But it's, every day, even on the rough days, know that you're still doing it and you're definitely impacting people. Where can we find you?
So you can find me. I have a website. It is MYETprotection.biz. Also on Instagram, TikTok at MYET Protection. I utilize those the most, but I also have Facebook as well at MYET Protection.
And you can find Mimi at Not a Great Whisperer podcast page, at The Real K-Ray. We're at BKN Creative Studios. Thank you for coming today. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.